Matt Mercer's Final Fantasy dreams keep coming true, a huge actual play teams up with D&D Beyond, and Chris Perkins makes his first appearance after leaving D&D. Welcome to Fantasy News Friday on the Character Sheet, your home for the week's biggest TTRPG and fantasy news. Before we dive into Daggerheart, Final Fantasy, D&D Beyond, and more, why not take a second to hit those like and subscribe buttons? We really appreciate it, and it really does help these videos. And then, let's get into the news. Matt Mercer has fallen deeply down the Magic the Gathering Commander rabbit hole in the last year or so, but this week his love of Magic the Gathering became intertwined with his deep love of Final Fantasy, as he was given the chance to debut the incredible new Vincent Valentine card for the upcoming Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering set. Matt, who showed off the new card in a post on his social media, plays the voice of Vincent Valentine in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which was already a dream come true for the lifelong Final Fantasy fanatic. And now his character has his own card, and boy does it capture the feel of his iconic character. The new Vincent Valentine card gets stronger every time an opponent's creature dies, gaining +1/+1 counters equal to the creature's power. And when he attacks, he can transform into his Galleon Beast form, much like in Final Fantasy VII. When Vincent transforms, he gains Trample and Lifelink, and if he dies while in his Galleon Beast form, he simply comes back to the battlefield tapped as his Vincent Valentine form instead. As the flavor text on the card so aptly puts it, this body is the punishment that's been given to me. So not only does Matt Mercer get to voice one of the most iconic characters in all of Final Fantasy VII, he now gets to reveal Vincent's incredible card to the world before it debuts in the Magic the Gathering game he's fallen back in love with. And you can't help but feel excited to see so many of Matt's dreams coming true at once as both of these worlds collide.
I hope you enjoy, as I know I certainly will be, to give the man his proper time in the sun. Or actually, no sun. He's not a fan of the sun.
Legends of Avantris has joined the likes of Critical Role and the Dungeon Dudes by becoming the latest huge actual play group to bring their D&D sourcebook officially into D&D Beyond. The Legends of Avantris team launched their Crooked Moon 5e supplement on Kickstarter in 2023 to massive success, becoming the biggest 5e based Kickstarter of the entire year with over $4 million funded. And much like Critical Role's Taudori campaign setting Reborn or the Dungeon Dudes Dragonheim setting, the Crooked Moon 5e supplement is officially partnered with D&D Beyond. That means you can bring in your folk horror flavored subclasses, magic items, feats, and more from the hit supplement when creating your own D&D Beyond characters. That means you can bring in your... It's just the latest massive win for the Legends of Avantris crew, who are only the second actual play group behind Critical Role to hit the 1 million subscriber mark on YouTube. And now if you want to experiment with their 15 new folk horror themed subclasses like the Grim Harbinger Ranger or the Harvest Cleric, pre-order your copy of Crooked Moon on D&D Beyond today and start building the terrifying new D&D character of your dreams.
I'm afraid.
Chris Perkins has made his first major appearance since retiring from Dungeons & Dragons and stepping down from his job as creative director at Wizards of the Coast, as he has once again resumed the role he made famous over a decade ago at the start of the actual play boom, returning as the GM for Acquisitions Incorporated at their PAX East live show last weekend. Unsurprisingly, Perkins, who had in recent years been replaced several times by fellow D&D departee Jeremy Crawford as a dungeon master for what many consider to be the OG actual play, looked amazing in his return behind the DM screen, and has clearly not missed a beat since the last time we saw him at the table with the Penny Arcade crew. While Perkins made no mention of what his plans after his D&D retirement would be, it's still great to see him back with the actual play that helped start this entire crazy actual play boom over a decade ago. And we're happy to say it looks like we'll be seeing more of Chris Perkins, as the TTRPG legend apparently still has a lot in the tank.
Can't wait!
And finally, we got some more sneak peeks at big Daggerheart settings and mechanics this week, as Critical Role's new TTRPG system is less than a week away from officially releasing. First off, let's talk about their campaign frame, aka world setting, Witherwild, as revealed by Games Radar, which is being called a mix between Princess Mononoke and The Legend of Zelda. It's a world where a mystical curse triggered by an invading nation has been unleashed, causing flora and fauna to grow abnormally large and aggressive, as they threaten to overwhelm the land. This causes some unusual changes to the ancestries of Daggerheart in the Witherwild setting. For example, a fungrel grows noticeably larger in the Witherwild than anywhere else, and a strange natural disease called the Serpent Sickness can affect any of the ancestries present in this campaign frame. This setting of huge wildlife gone wild is noted as one of the simpler frames to adapt for your adventures, with a complexity rating of only 1, but it definitely does bring those Princess Mononoke vibes, as a vengeful nature god has unleashed this curse after being struck down by the invading forces of Haven, and we are pretty excited to check out this world of wildlife gone wild. We also got to look at some of the core mechanics in Daggerheart in their final form, thanks to the fine folks over at Demiplane, who created the amazing Daggerheart Demiplane Nexus, including a step-by-step guide to resolving scenes, aka social encounters in Daggerheart, with a special step-by-step GM's guide that makes for an easy-to-follow way to track scenes and play them out for newer DMs. We also got a major preview of the final Spotlight mechanic, which is sort of Daggerheart's version of Initiative, but which can also be used in the previously mentioned Scenes mechanic to keep players invested and prevent one player from just dominating all the social interactions of your party. There's also a fully fleshed out Spotlight Tracker tool included, which gives GMs a system that's an interesting twist on the classic Initiative Tracker, where each player is given a set number of tokens, and every time they take an action or interject in a scene, they must remove a token from their sheet until they have no tokens left, at which point they have to wait for everyone else to run out of tokens before they can refresh their tokens and begin interacting again. It's nothing drastically new, but it is a more fleshed out and easier to follow version than we had in the playtest, and we cannot wait to put it into action when Daggerheart drops next week on May 20th. And be sure to keep an eye on the channel, as not only will we have our review on May 20th, but we may have a very special Daggerheart exclusive featuring some even more special guests next week as well. And that's all the stories we have for Fantasy News Friday this week. Let us know what your favorite was down in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.